How many days have been? A 175 straight days of Clippers talk for you guys. Daniel West says it's a lot. It's been a lot of days. What's up, y'all? Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. We got your pregame show starting in about 5 minutes. La Murray on. Carlo. This is one of those games where I will crash out if the Clippers lose it. This is a must win above any. Under no circumstances can you afford to lose this game. Brooklyn is watching Cooper Flag currently in the tournament. It's no disrespect, but we all know the deal. The franchise is at a different stage. I don't even know who some of the guys are playing today. Injury report is wild. It is a must-win. Deca Fantastic. What do you mean chill? You cannot lose to this Brooklyn Nets team. If you lose to this Brooklyn Nets team, you don't deserve a top 6 seed. I don't think you understand how bad they are and the guys that are out. Guys, they beat them last time 126-67. By 59 points. I think that was the biggest win in franchise history. And they have less of their most reliable players available. I ain't worried about the Lakers. I'm talking about the Clippers here. This is about handling business, a business-like approach. Have to win this game. I actually think there's less of a chance they pass the Grizzlies now because they're going to have a fire lit underneath them. Grizzlies hadn't beat a team with a winning record since I think like February 2nd. Yes, Ben Simmons revenge game. Grizzlies thoughts? The timing of it's shocking, but I guess I'm not that surprised that, I thought maybe this offseason they move on. Greetings, Jose. You want them to win so Terrence gets a ring? All right, guys, show starts. 2 minutes. Here we go. Yeah, I thought Kawhi would rest on Saturday. I've been saying that, Alex. Where you been? Too busy telling me that the Lakers lost the other night when LeBron actually got that tip in? Welcome into Clippers Countdown. As your 41-31 LA Clippers remain in New York, but now they take the subway from Manhattan to Brooklyn in order to face the 23-50 Nets, who may be playing another game right now called Capture the Flag, but you can't overlook anyone if you're the Clippers, and you have a chance to hold on to the 6th spot in the West. So even in a game against a team you might see as a pushover, you have to treat them with the appropriate amount of professionalism and a business-like approach as you would for any other team, like, say, the way they performed against the Knicks on Wednesday.
Norm, right elbow jumper, dancing on Towns. He pulls it back and knocks it down. Norman Powell with 16. Harden with the handle. He's got 6 in a row. Does he want more? Working on hard. It's a step back three. Unconscious. 3 in a row from downtown for numero uno. Kawhi, right elbow extended. Cut off by Anunoby. Pump fakes and drives. Spins into the blue paint. Fading and firing. Leonard, a mid-range masterpiece. And the Clippers, the first to 100. Up by a dozen. Up for Leonard. He catches it head high. Lofts it for Zoo. Steps through. Two-handed finish over the top of Anunoby. Oh my, Ivica Zubac puts the exclamation mark on tonight's contest for the Clippers.
The Clippers' Big Four combined for 93 of their eventual 126 as they won by 13 over the Knicks. They trailed by 14 in that game early on. Complete turnaround the final 3 quarters. As James Harden led them with 29 points coming off his foot injury. Here he was post-game on FanDuel TV with Christina Pink.
It was a slow start for you guys, but you battled back and showed the resilience of this group. What did you like about how you finished?
That's why it's a 4-quarter game, you know. As much as we wanted to be perfect every single possession, every single quarter, it's not going to be like that. So we started off slow for whatever reason, and we found ways to just inch back in it defensively, and offensively we got going.
Coming into this one, James, we talked about how much you love playing in this environment at Madison Square Garden. 29 points, 6 assists. Why does this place bring out the best in you?
Some of the best fans in the world. Sports city for sure. I played here for a year in the city, so it's just the energy, the vibe in here. You want to come out, you want to play your best, and you want to obviously come away with the win. So for us, it was all about that, and we did that.
Now, James, you came into this one battling some foot soreness the last couple of days. Why was it so important for you to be out here?
Because we're fighting for our lives right now, So, whatever it takes to win the game, and obviously, if I was very, very, very hurt, then I wouldn't be playing. But I put through some different tests, and I figured it out. So, come away with the win. We got 10 games left, and every game is important for us,
including this one, which is absolutely a must-win if the Clippers want to avoid the randomness of being in the play-in tournament. Tip-off from Barclays Center between the Clippers and Nets is just about 60 minutes away. Coming up, we got your assistant coach and B. Shaw on, plus Lob Murray of The Athletic. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is 58 minutes away here on Clippers Down, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, you're going to hear from assistant coach Brian Shaw, but first we get out to your radio voice of the Clippers from Barclays Center and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing?
Adam, what's up, man? I'm doing good. Big game here for the Clippers as they try to go to 2-0 on this road trip, their lone visit to Brooklyn. And, man, the last 10 games, the Clippers top 5 in offense and defense. Adam, life is good.
Life is good. I'm still giddy about it. Let's talk about this Clippers team and what they were able to do on Wednesday night, winning 126-113 over the Knicks in New York. Really felt like the momentum swung in the Clippers' favor for good, where they took control late in that third quarter thanks to the bearded wonder, Carlo.
Yeah, James Harden got going, 3 straight threes, 16 points in that third quarter on the whole as he finished with 29 through 3 quarters. He was just dominant. He was unstoppable at moments in that ball game. And what's most impressive, Adam, is he knew when to turn it on. It didn't feel like he forced his way into the flow of the game, but he played with the ebbs and the flows and then was able to find a rhythm when needed. The Clippers would get a 4th straight 3 on a Nico Batum make that capped a quarter in which they shot 8 for 11 from outside the arc, which is just unreal shooting for the Clippers. Big reason why they're able to come away with a win in that one. So much fun to watch this Clipper team play with a lot of fun, Adam, and take care of the basketball in that contest.
Yeah, just 5 turnovers for the Clippers, just 3 the final 3 quarters, I believe. Is that correct, Carlo, or was it 2?
It's 2.
2 the final 3 quarters.
But I'll take 3.
Speaking of number 2, Kawhi Leonard took the baton from James Harden after that third quarter, and he started off hot to start the fourth quarter. It just felt like everything was working for the Clippers. You had different guys taking turns of taking over the ball game, but that fourth quarter was Kawhi.
100%. 14 points in that fourth quarter. He had the first 10 of the quarter for the Clippers. He joked with La Murray post-game saying, finally we were able to get into a rhythm with that second unit, but getting into a rhythm was just Kawhi Leonard getting in rhythm and everybody playing off of him. Impressive stuff for Kawhi to be able to dominate with the basketball in his hands. It was just so great to see, Adam. And the biggest thing in that fourth quarter for me was that the Clippers did not allow, maybe the last 2 minutes you could say, but they put the Knicks away. Really, the game was never in question down the stretch. This team continues to show that they have business-like approach to games in which they feel like they can get a win. Hopefully they bring that same approach here to Brooklyn.
You talked about the dagger shot being that three-pointer from Norman Powell. After things got a little bit dicey for a second, down to 8, but he hit the 3 right away. Game was over. Finished with 19 points on 7 of 12 shooting. Had 8 of those points in the second quarter. That was kind of his moment with a little bit of a takeover. Just great to see Norman Powell look much more like himself in that ballgame.
He was great in that game. 4 threes in that game, Adam. He had 4 threes combined in his previous 4 games coming back from injury. So he had struggled a little bit from outside the arc, but then able to knock those down. It was great to see. I thought he was great at getting out in fast break, being open around the ball. And then also, Adam, just doing a good job playing within the flow of the offense. Norman Powell didn't force too much in that contest, is why he shot 7 for 12 in the game. So great to see him continue to be efficient. The Clippers are going to need their big four to play at an elite level. They did in that Knicks game, and you see the result, a comfortable win on the road in the Garden.
We'll see if the Clippers can do it again now in Brooklyn, taking on the Nets tonight from Barclays Center. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is just about 52 minutes away. Coming up next, Carlo's got his one-on-one conversation with assistant coach Brian Shaw as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 50 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come. We're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, we're heading back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam, here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Brooklyn Nets. Coach, the last 10 games, you're second in offensive rating, fourth in defensive rating. Outside of being healthy, what has been the key to being top five in both the last 10 games?
Well, it's got to be health. I think, Kawhi, like I said, getting back to his form of being who he is. I think Norm, starting to settle in. I think Bogey and Ben getting more comfortable. But it's definitely health. With our roster, with our team, with everybody healthy, and we can kind of see the style of play we want to try to play. And like I said, defensively, we just got to continue to keep blocking in. Understand we want to be a defensive-minded team and defense first because we will be able to score the basketball.
You had 3 turnovers in the first quarter last game and then just 2 the rest of the way. What has helped this team take care of the basketball so well? Seems like since Kawhi's gotten back, the turnover numbers have dipped almost 3 per game.
Yeah, just having a common presence in Kawhi. We can post him, we can put the ball in his hands. He never gets sped up, and he gives us a common presence when things are getting out of control, as well as being able to post Zoo as well. And I think we just starting to figure it out as a team how we want to play, the style we want to play, how we want to get guys shots, and they've been doing a good job with that.
Just 2 more for you, but 3 straight double-doubles from Kawhi. You got 8 rebounds from Ben last game. Harden and Derek both gave you 6 rebounds. Have you asked your guards to rebound more? Has that just been part of the product?
No, we have to be better. Our guards have to be better rebounding the basketball because, Zoo's going to block shots or Zoo's, wrapped up with another big trying to box out. So our guards got to do a good job of coming back and rebounding the basketball. And like you said, as of late, we've been doing a good job with that.
Last one, you got 10 games left. What is your focus for this team the final 10 games?
Just getting to a offensive rhythm like we've been doing so far, but understanding that whatever it takes to win games. Like now we're starting to get better as a team, and so you might not get as many shots as you've been getting in the past. And so you got to bring other things to the game, but also just continue to keep getting better defensively and offensively every single night. And I think we got a good chance to do that.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Coach Lue pregame with Carlo Jimenez there as we get set for the Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip-off is just 50 minutes away, and up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. The Crook from the Brook, Clippers in Biggie's Borough in Brooklyn, taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 48 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. It's the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. It is Clippers Countdown. Still to come. We'll get your player to watch, but first we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Over 21 years here to January 6th of 2004. In theaters at the time, you had the third Lord of the Rings movie, The Return of the King, cleaning up at the box office. On the radio everywhere, and I mean everywhere, was Outkast's song Hey Ya, but there was a hit on the court too, quite literally, as the Clippers were then taking on the New Jersey Nets, and things got heated.
Nets are up big as they try to remain focused before what could be extended garbage time in the fourth quarter if the score keeps up. Maggette is fouled, pushes down Martin, and Martin takes a swing. A fight breaks out between Martin and Maggette.
You might lose a couple of players. No time for that in a game like this. Sometimes just the reaction, the way things go, it's human nature.
Martin was trying to tie up Maggette. Maggette pushed, and then Martin came right back at him. And Martin's taking a walk.
No, I'm not sure there was a push there, but obviously after that, everything escalated.
And then it was taken to the next level.
You hate to see that. A good hard foul and good play by Kenyon Martin. He gets knocked down and, again, takes exception to what Maggette, or he felt what Maggette.
Some fisticuffs there between Kenyon Martin and Corey Maggette. I may be biased, but I side with Corey Maggette there. He's an all-time Clipper legend, now on the broadcasting team, but Kenyon Martin ended up being a Clipper later on too. Two guys that obviously have some physicality to them, played with it back in their day, and they squared off in 2004 as the Clippers took on the then New Jersey Nets. Tonight they're taking on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Tip-off is just about 45 minutes away. Up next here on Clippers Countdown, we'll get to your player to watch. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip-off is just about 40 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. We'll also get to your injury report, but first.
This is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
Today I'm looking at Ben Simmons. Now with the Clippers back in Brooklyn, taking on his former team. You know how this usually goes. You get up going up against your former employer. Hasn't scored more than 12 points in a game for the Clippers so far. He did that in his first, that big overtime victory in Utah right before the All-Star break. But he has been unbelievable with the assist to turnover ratio. With the Clippers, he's at 38 assists to just 7 turnovers so far. And he's kind of a hybrid, playing some backup big minutes while also running point some. So a little bit of a point center with him. I wonder if he'll have his best game scoring-wise of the season going up against the Brooklyn Nets today in this one. Might get some extended run out there. Excited for Ben Simmons now as a Clipper. We'll see what he does against his former squad today in Brooklyn. Coming up next, we're getting over to La Murray of The Athletic. But, of course, first we got that injury report. That's coming up right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip-off just about 35 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got La Murray joining us. But first, while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
LA Clippers basketball. AM 1150 KEIV Los Angeles. An iHeart radio station.
We'll get to your injury report here, brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Clippers, still without Jordan Miller with that hamstring injury. Nets will be without Noah Clowney in this one, DeAnthony Melton, Daron Sharp, and Cam Thomas. Coming up next from Barclays Center, the man, the myth, the legend from The Athletic, La Murray will be joining us here as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Tip-off 34 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Countdown here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off 32 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. And coming up, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. But first, let's get over to the man from The Athletic, at La Murray, the NU, on different social media platforms. La, what's up, my friend?
Hey, it's good to be in BK.
It is good to see your face. Let's talk about what happened initially in Manhattan with the Clippers winning by 13 over the Knicks on Wednesday. Is that one of their better road victories of the season, considering they don't have that many?
Nah. I mean, it was a good win. It was a necessary win. I thought they played through the game really well. I'm sure I can find a better road win than that one.
One of their better. I'll take the Memphis one earlier in the season, of course, or Denver, but
Absolutely that Memphis one. Absolutely the Denver one. The Golden State one, which was on the second night of a back-to-back in the first week of the season. Yeah, I think you can find a handful of games on the road that that they can be even more proud of than Wednesday. But that being said, wins are not easy. Wins when you're down 14 aren't easy. Wins against teams that you beat not too long ago aren't easy. And they did what they needed to do, and they should be really happy about the win overall, but specific aspects of the win as well.
what did you attribute the slow start to, and then just the way they were able to turn it on later?
I just don't think they were good offensively to begin the game, and that led to them not being able to set up the defense like they would have wanted to. As you know, Karl Anthony Towns gives the Clippers an opportunity to play defensively in ways that they normally don't. And the Knicks were prepared for it almost better than it seemed like the Clippers were. You know, the Clippers had Nico Batum starting and defending Karl Anthony Towns from the jump in the game at Intuit Dome. They didn't have Nico in the starting lineup. They went with their regular starting lineup and different guys guarding Cat. And I think they were ready to figure out how to, weaponize Josh Hart, who they were going to have if it's a Zubats guarding. They rarely could set up that much because they started the game missing 7 of their first 8 shots. And so when you're missing shots and you're not really as organized defensively as you ideally would be, the run really started once Kawhi Leonard, got himself across the timeline, put that ball between his legs a couple of times, stepped inside the arc, took a shot that a lot of folks don't like taking, and Tom Thibodeau knew what it was immediately, called timeout, and the turnaround was on.
Yeah, he's one of those few guys in this league that can get away with taking those long twos with the way he can shoot it. It works.
It ranges a layup if you grind.
So it was him taking over in the fourth quarter with 14 points. James Harden had 16 of his 29 in the third quarter. Norman Powell had 8 points in that second quarter. It just felt like the disbursement and the way the big four and the guys were taking turns out there, kind of having their own moment. I don't want to say, this is the recipe or this is the formula, but it felt a little bit like that, Law, with them combining for 96 points.
Yeah, but I'll say this. T. Lue said before the game, he doesn't want as much random basketball. He wants the focus to be on the best players on the floor. So 2 things about that. Number 1, they played through James and Kawhi. When James and Kawhi got it going, the game was a rout. That's number 1. Number 2, the rotation got slashed yesterday. They went playoff style. And, Amir Coffey has missed only 2 games the entire year, had played in every single game after December 2023 of last season, right? He is now omitted from the rotation. And it's because it's a 9-man rotation. One of the issues with the second unit, honestly, they're trying to find minutes for too many guys. And it's not like they were going to play all 5 bench guys at the same time. They always wanted one of James or Kawhi on the floor. It's just too hard, especially now that Norman is who he is in this offense. If it's Zubats is who he is in this offense. It's just too many guys. It's too many potential lineups for not enough guys. You know what I mean? So, I just feel like that helped the second unit play one of its best games all season. When a reserve was on the floor Wednesday night, the Clippers outscored the Knicks by 18 points, as opposed to a starting lineup. When those 5 were out on the floor together, they were outscored by the Knicks. So I think those 2 things play hand in hand. We can't play as many guys, but also the guys who are on the floor need to play through a certain group of guys, a certain order, and it starts with James and Kawhi. And when those guys were playing their best, the Knicks had no chance.
What would you say to somebody who's scratching their head and wondering why a guy who is shooting 41% from three on the season in Amir Coffey is the odd man out?
It's comes down to he's guy 10 in a 9-man rotation. It's like, who else are you going to take out? If you look at the Clippers roster and look at everybody who's played more than 12 minutes per game, as of right now, all of them have a positive plus minus, except for the guys who are no longer on the team or the guys who are no longer in the rotation. And Amir is in that latter group. He did not have a positive plus minus considering the minutes that he was playing. Now you got 9 guys who all have positive plus minuses from their time with the Clippers this season. It's not even about Amir Coffey. It's about he's behind 9 guys.
Is part of this also, I mean, when they're healthy, what Amir provides is some scoring out there. He can get in transition, but he doesn't necessarily offer a ton else. And if they're healthy, they got plenty of guys who can score. Meanwhile, Bogey, even if he's not scoring, he can still help create.
Exactly. Like, Amir is a player who you gotta be considerate of who he's guarding. You have to be considerate of who he's on the floor because he's not a creator. He's obviously a decent creator for a guy who is a 5th option per se. He can hit the 3, but he doesn't generate his own shot as well. Like, he has his comfort areas on the floor, that pull up elbow midi per se, the fade in the paint. He's a damn good player. If he's your 10th guy, he's a damn good 10th guy. That's why Tyronn Lue said after the game Wednesday night that dude's going to get paid this offseason. I don't anticipate that the Clippers are going to be the team to pay him. So we talk about context to these things. I know people might have seen, the quotes hanging around. Maybe they shared the video or whatever. Like, Amir is probably going to start Sunday. It's probably because a bunch of these dudes, well, not a bunch. I don't want to overstate it, but we know that it's a back-to-back, and we know who doesn't play on back-to-backs. Someone's going to start. Someone's going to play. So, yeah, I think you need to prepare for Sunday being an early game after a flight. They're not leaving until Saturday afternoon to go to Cleveland. That means that guys are going to try and take care of this business in Barclays Center, and then they're going to enjoy New York because they ain't in a rush to get out of here. They're going to get on a flight, and the dudes who they're not counting on playing ain't going to be playing Sunday. They're going to get their rest and chill and then get ready for Monday night, full squad in Orlando. Adam, you can clip that one off. So, I think that's
How'd you know?
I think that's what's going to be what's important. Amir, in this current situation, he's guy 10 in a 9-man rotation. When guys are missing time, Amir's still going to play and be asked to play as well as, he's expected to play. And when it comes to this offseason, he's a free agent on a team that, as you see, is pretty damn deep right now. Amir, congratulations. Go get your bag, more than likely. You always got a home here. You're always going to be appreciative. But your value probably will be increased somewhere else as opposed to here. Maybe that's getting ahead of ourselves a little much. But y'all, hey, T. Lou said it, not me.
This is true. Lob Murray of The Athletic joining us here on Clippers Countdown as we get set for the Clippers at Barclays taking on the Brooklyn Nets. It's the return of Ben Simmons in this one. He's my player to watch tonight. How do you think he's going to perform against his former team? His points high with the Clippers is 12. Does he exceed that today, Law?
Probably not, because Ben ain't trying to do that. I mean, look, Ben is trying to be more aggressive. More aggressive doesn't always translate to points. He scored plenty, relatively speaking, of course, against the Thunder. But it was arguably his worst game because of the careless turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Like, Ben, I think, has 7 turnovers.
Yep.
Carlo's looking at a bunch of stuff. He definitely ain't looking at that right now. How many turnovers has Ben had?
It's 7. It's 7.
It is 7?
Yeah.
Carlo, Ben has 7 turnovers. How many of them against the Thunder?
3.
He had 3. So that's one game where, hey, he scored. He did what was exciting, but he wasn't taking care of the basketball. Take that game out, his assist-to-turnover ratio looks like an MVP quarterback, okay? And so I think that's what Ben's focused on. That's what I wrote about. He's focused on winning, We can draw up about a whole bunch of old stuff, um, his failures or whatever. I think he just wants to win the game. And you know what happens if the Clippers win tonight, Adam? Do you know what happens, Carlo? Carlo knows what happens because we talked about this. 14 straight winning seasons. I don't care that they clinched a 500 non-losing season. I don't care. I think everyone cares about if this team wins tonight. That's 42 wins. You know, being a winning team for 14 straight years in this era of the NBA, that's something that I know this organization is proud of. They talked about it in September. I think people didn't want to hear that. I think people know that in the short term, just like every other win, knowing that there's a bigger goal in mind.
Yeah, it's significant. People will always downplay it and say, where's the hardware at? But coming from where this franchise was before Steve Ballmer, I mean, this is quite a transition. He's only been here, obviously, for 11 seasons so far. Is Norman Powell to you getting back into that groove based off of what you saw against the Knicks? Is this what we can expect down the stretch here?
Well, that's what we talked about before the Wednesday game. I felt like that was the game where Norm will get more comfortable, specifically shooting the three, both because of the matchup and because it was time. And Norm can be cleaner. I mean, Norm had a terrible jump shot in the mid-range in the fourth quarter that I think OG Anunoby got a three, and the Madison Square Garden crowd got very excited after that. But then Norm comes right back and hits a dagger three, right? And that's what you want. That dude, Norm, I don't worry about him. I think he needs time. He does get out of rhythm. We've seen him miss a bunch of time 3 years ago, right before the play-in tournament, and he didn't look to end that season as, you know, playing at the level that he was when he got hurt, when he was first traded to the Clippers. And so I think this is the time where you get all that nastiness out your system. You come back, you start playing really well again, and then you go ahead. Norm used to always tell us that he's a slow starter to begin regular seasons. He got that out of his system this year, but going back, you know, the previous couple of years, he would pretty much say, hey, I don't start seasons very well. He missed 4 weeks, and that 4 weeks was interrupted by a second injury. It's really tough mentally. It's really tough physically, and it can be tough emotionally considering how well he was playing and the fact that he got to see All-Star Weekend, even though he wasn't an All-Star. I think that he's been able to get himself back. He's a part of this team. These guys love Norman Powell. They want to see him succeed, and Wednesday was the start, and hopefully Friday night in Brooklyn, he can build off of that.
Last one for you, Law. I want to veer outside of the Clippers here because you know ball, you know history. You ever seen an ending like that last night? I know
Yes.
Reggie Miller, I know T-Mac, but that was pretty a half-court shot after a Reggie Miller-like moment. That was something else.
Nah, what was crazy was I was in Oklahoma City after Devontae Graham hit a three from three-quarters court to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. The very next game was the Clippers coming into that building, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a buzzer beater three to beat the Clippers that very next game. Like
over Batum, right?
You know, yeah, step back on Nico, and like I've seen those kind of things happen. Like Markieff Morris and Luka Doncic were in Cleveland last year, you know, and Luka gets the ball to PJ Washington. They go up. Cavs have no timeouts. They inbound to Evan Mobley. Mobley gets it back to Strus. He pulls up from about midcourt and gains them. And the reactions were crazy. Luka and Markieff Morris, and I guess Max Clay, I don't even know if he's traveling. They were on that trip. I know they seen it before. And
Luka did comment on that game, yeah.
Yeah, and the last time that the Bulls made a game-winning three at the buzzer, LeBron was there because it was Derrick Rose in the playoffs 10 years ago. And we all know what happened the very next game. LeBron hits his three, and you know, he basically overruled David Blatt to make sure he hit that three. It's bits and pieces. It's absolutely crazy how the NBA works. But I've seen some things. I'm just thrilled that I got to see it as it happened. I would not have wanted you, no disrespect, Adam, I would not want anyone to narrate that for me. I needed to see that for myself. That's why you watch the games.
There you go. La Murray of The Athletic, at La Murray DNU on multiple social media platforms. Law, thanks for the interview. Thanks for the soundbite. Appreciate you, my guy.
Hey, thank you. Read the article on The Athletic and enjoy the games.
Read it. Required reading. La Murray of The Athletic. Subscribe to The Athletic for him. Coming up next, as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Brooklyn Nets, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip off. Just about 13 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. It's Clippers Countdown. Coming up, back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get to your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Only game that's tipped off so far in the association is in Detroit, where the Pistons lead the Cavaliers 12-10 early on there. Coming up later tonight, Denver Nuggets hosting the Utah Jazz. The Pelicans will welcome in the Golden State Warriors. Go Pels in that one. Suns in Minnesota. Go Suns as they take on the Timberwolves. The Bucks hosting the New York Knicks. But coming up, we got Clippers and Nets. It is a huge game for the Clippers. Or as Law mentioned, they can get to their 14th straight winning season, longest current streak in the NBA of consecutive winning seasons. With a victory in this one, they'll get to 42-31, but there is business at hand. You cannot overlook this Brooklyn Nets team. For more on that, coming up next, we got Carlo Jimenez on from Barclays Center, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers, Brooklyn Nets from Barclays Center. Tipping off just about 9 minutes from now. Welcome back. I'm Adam Moslin. It's Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory. But first, back out to Brooklyn and back out to Carlo Jimenez, man of many faces and hairstyles. Carlo, a team of many different rosters and starting lineups would be the Brooklyn Nets. Who's playing in this one? Who can really hurt the Clippers that they need to be watchful of?
Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets' best player this season, consistently on a night-in, night-out basis, has been Cam Johnson, their power forward. Johnson, over his last 5 games, had him 20 points a game, 46% from the field. He did not play the last game because of rest. He did not play the first matchup between these two teams because he was dealing with an injury. So it's the first time the Clippers have seen him, and he was able to take the last game off. I would expect Johnson to be a centerpiece for this Clippers defensive lineup. And then you look at Nick Claxton, who is having an excellent last 2 games there center. This front court for this Brooklyn Nets team has been excellent. Claxton averaging 21 points his last 2 contests, coming off a 22-point performance last time out against Toronto, a double-double in that one as well. He had 11 rebounds. So those 2 would be the names to look for. Now, I like the Clippers' counterattacks on the other side, and Kawhi Leonard and Ivica Zubac, but I feel like you have to slow down Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton if the Clippers want to come away with the victory tonight in Brooklyn.
You know, about a week ago, we saw them get a victory over the Charlotte Hornets, and Coach Lou said it was a business-like approach out there. How important is it for this team not to get complacent right now and not look past these Nets?
I think it's huge because you look at this upcoming schedule, Adam. Those are 2 tough games in Orlando and Cleveland. Now you play Cleveland first, then Orlando on a back-to-back. But this is the start of 3 games in 4 days. And the Clippers did have to run their starting lineup out there late last time out against the Knicks. Even though the game seemed like it was out of reach for the Knicks, the Clippers still brought Harden back into the ballgame. His minutes went from 31 to 37. Now he has been averaging 37 minutes a game since the All-Star break. But if the Clippers could get a day off in terms of not everyone reaching 38, 37 minutes, they have to take advantage of that because the schedule, especially the next 2 games, is not kind to them. Now, Adam, the Clippers only have 3 games left against teams, maybe 4 games against teams 500 or better. So they need to be able to take advantage of this final stretch. And that means when you have opportunities to rest or not put as much wear and tear on the second oldest team in the NBA in your LA Clippers, they need to make sure that happens.
I'm going with tonight in this ball game for my player to watch, a former Brooklyn Net in Ben Simmons. Who do you got in this one, Carlo?
Wow, Adam. Wow, I didn't think you'd ever go that far out there for a reach.
Wait, what are you even saying? Because I didn't pick Kawhi or I didn't pick Harden?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't. You just said that. I did say that. But I'm glad you got what I was getting at. So thank you. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, well, let me know how far out on the branch you going.
Well, I just told you that Nick Claxton is one of the best players for this Brooklyn Nets team. In fact, he's top 10 in the NBA in blocks per game. So I'm going to go Big Zoo. I'm going to go strength versus strength here. Ivica Zubac is a double-double away from 50. And hopefully he can get there tonight. A goal of his in the preseason, an opportunity to get it done. It would be great to see Big Zoo get the 50 double-doubles. It would be great to see him also play just 28, 31 minutes in this ball game. Let the man rest a little bit. He's been averaging 33 a game in his 70 games this year. He's missed just 2 of them for the Clippers all season.
Oh, we talked about it a little bit with Lob Murray, but Amir Coffey, the odd man out, what looks like the playoff rotation. Coach Lou spoke about it a little bit against the Knicks, but this is one of those good problems to have for the Clippers. We know how good Amir Coffey has been for them so far this season. We know he's a guy that you can plug and play in there, and he'll stay ready. And if the Clippers need him in a big spot, they're not afraid to go right back to him.
No, Ty Lue is the ultimate adjuster. He is the chiropractor. And so for the Clippers to feel like just because Amir Coffey doesn't play 1 game in which you shorten the rotation that he won't be needed, let's all think back to last year, Game 6, season on the line. We saw P.J. Tucker start. So nothing is off the table with this Clipper team when it comes to finding different adjustments throughout the season. I would not be surprised if we see Amir Coffey play big playoff minutes down the stretch for this Clipper team in a game they need to win where he could be the difference in one of those games. It's a tough look for Amir because you look at the 9 guys ahead of him, Adam, and that is a scary group. I think there's a lot of good pieces that play well together. I don't think he's cracking that 9-man rotation. I think it's set at 9. But Amir Coffey has to stay ready. He's had one of the best seasons of his career. He is a top 10 3-point shooter this season for most of the season and up above 40% on the year. The Clippers 10-2 when he scores 15 or more. Just the third game he missed all year last time out. For Amir Coffey, he understands this role. He's been in numerous roles with this team, Adam. I would not be surprised if he knows exactly what to do in terms of staying ready and being ready for that opportunity that will inevitably come if the Clippers make a deep run in the playoffs.
Let's get ready for the Clippers in Brooklyn. Taking on the Nets. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off just about 5 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll let Carlo go for now because we got your keys to victory. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's where we raise our
Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Clippers have to worry about themselves in a game like this. Play your game, impose your will, start fast. The antithesis of what we saw against the Knicks in New York on Wednesday. They started slow. They got down by 14. They still won by 13. But today, against this Brooklyn team that is reeling, the Clippers have to get off to a quick start. You can't give a young team with a lot of new players out there trying to show off for their head coach that they deserve more minutes towards the end of this season to see what they can do. You got to be careful with teams like this. You cannot get complacent. Just establish that defensive identity early on, because if you look at the Brooklyn schedule, the Nets have won 2 games recently against the Atlanta Hawks, against the Los Angeles Lakers. If you are not careful, if you trip up or slip up, this team can beat you. Here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers and Nets from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.